In this video, I'm gonna show you why letting go is the key to skyrocketing your vibration to a completely new level. I'm gonna show you why it's so powerful and how to elevate up to a higher level of consciousness to allow your life to become so much easier. I'm going to share a lot of my own story about how I elevated to a higher level of consciousness, how you can do it too, and how to really stop staying trapped within the familiar attachments, people, beliefs, habits, and things that are keeping you stuck so you can finally become free. Now, the first thing that I would like to share is what actually helped me understand this in a completely new level. I've talked about the different levels of consciousness in other videos, but in general, when it comes to different levels of consciousness that it exists in, it's helpful to understand it in a way that we understand from Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks has a little analogy that talks about this bob on the ocean. If you imagine an ocean, imagine the bob on the ocean, or the fisherwoman that has their little thing that they reel out there. It's got a bob and it's got a little string that goes on the bottom, and you're just talking about this bob, right? And to catch fish. Well, in a similar way, if you think that of a bob on the ocean, what happens is the bob on the ocean is already automatically on the top of the ocean because it floats. What happens is when you put pressure on the bob, you can push it underneath the water. The key to having the bob on the ocean raise itself back to the surface is not about lifting it up and like carrying it up. It's not about change the bob in any ways. It's about simply letting go of the pressure. Let go of the pressure of holding on the bob underneath the ocean. It naturally raises it back up to the surface. So in a similar way, your vibration and your level of consciousness works in a very similar way. The thing that I've heard enlightened people say and study that of Osho and other people, they talk about that of how silly the whole idea of enlightenment is. For a long time, what happened is we're seeking enlightenment on the top of the scale, and when we seek enlightenment, we're seeking something that we believe is not our natural state. And that's why it's sometimes said that enlightenment is more of a realization, not something you attain. So the realization is something that you naturally already are. You already are love. You already are joy, peace, and enlightenment. All you have to do is let go of these attachments, these lower emotions, these lower beliefs that you've been holding on to. That when you let those go, you will naturally raise the vibrations back up. This is a powerful understanding that could completely shift your life. It's more about letting go, and more about letting go is allowing yourself to feel. Something I learned recently because I recently got certified in a breathwork modality called somatic breathwork. It's about feeling these emotions, these lower emotions, and to heal it, and it releases from your body. A lot of it is about letting go and clearing it out inside the body. You may not always understand why or where the emotion came from, but these breathwork ceremonies, basically, you breathe in a certain pattern. Right now you are in the already certified in this, and you did this 21-day challenges where I bring other people that are certified in this modality in, and it's always the most powerful transformative experience that people have, because they're finally able to let go of these bottom level emotions that they've been keeping them in similar dynamics. Because here's the thing, if we feel shame, which means I'm broken and something wrong with me, it's going to be impossible to attract love. In order to attract love to people who feel that, a lot of times that attract love, you may feel shame. But what ends up happening is the love doesn't stay, because eventually you're afraid people are going to find out that you're broken or sabotaged or some ways. What happens is when they feel fear towards commitment or anger towards that of someone in our past, we hold on to this energy in someone inside of ourselves. But if we hold on to this energy, we experience a reality that's equal to the subconscious energy that's trickling out in our field. If we don't express the fear, the guilt, the shame, the anger, what would end up happening is we do in minute ways in our relationship, at our job, with our friends, and we don't even know it. For a long time, I was just a lot of anger and shame, anger towards my ex-stepmom that I didn't have much of a childhood from 7 to 16 years old. I was completely controlled by my family, and from 7 to 15, that was gone. And I felt like there was something broken, there was something wrong with me. I would ask, why did my dad allow this happen? Why did my mom allow this happen? Why did God make it happen? So this belief that I was going to fight for my freedom. So then I would attract people into my life that would reflect back these lower energies of anger, shame, fear, guilt. I attracted those people that were similar to my parents. And something about that felt familiar. You always want to stay in, the ego wants to stay in familiar energy, motions, and energies because the ego wants familiarity. The unknown is scary to the ego. So in a subconscious way, the ego fights to keep these energies alive. The shame. I find myself in relationships where I believe I wasn't good enough. I would sabotage it. And then I would pick people that would not choose me. Why would they choose me if I'm not choosing me? Shame. There's something broken about me. And I would find myself in a reality that's equal to that. The key to be elevating and skyrocketing in vibration was becoming aware of these. Not every minute detail. It doesn't mean I have to be aware of when I was a baby and 2 years old and I wanted something from my mom because she went through her own process or her family just died. Anything can happen, you know. And the keys for me have become aware and feeling the energy inside my body and releasing it. And when you feel it, you allow it to close the loop, to close the pattern, and not to continue that, bring that active in the body. When you feel it, you heal it. When you feel it, you heal it. What you do want to become is aware of the attachments, the peoples, the labels, the habits, the beliefs that are holding you back. You don't have to become aware of all the emotions, every little thing comes from, every memory. So people ask that. People ask the memory. When we do these breathwork sessions, we may be in a state of releasing emotion, and you may be releasing. The other night when I got graduating, we did a breathwork ceremony, and there was one man that was yelling, anger. He was releasing so much, and he was very intense for him, and it was very intense for the other people around him, because when a lot of us may be not even comfortable with other people expressing emotion. A lot of time it reminds us of other people in our lives when it wasn't okay. But as it was expressing that, as he was releasing that, he was allowing to dissipate, so it didn't have to go out in the world and have to release that anger towards somebody else. Subconsciously, by slamming cabinets and stuff. You see, and he shared afterwards that what he was able to do was forgive his brother. His brother was next to him. His brother was first time doing breath work, and he finally forgave his brother. And there's 50 people, and he's like, what is he forgiving him for? What did your brother do, you know? But he was able to finally forgive his brother. Forgiveness is the way of also letting go. Forgiveness is also meaning that we've given to someone else to me. It wasn't right. It's to take back the meaning and realize that everyone's doing the best they can from where they are at the level of consciousness where they are at. Think of what someone would have to go through to take someone else's life, or think of what someone else would have to go through to abuse somebody else, mistreat somebody else, do the most horrible thing that they can imagine. Doesn't make it right for us to imagine that, but it does help us to understand a little bit more. That makes it easier to let go of. So for me, back in 2012, I had the patterns in my life of people that were my ex-stepmom, and we forgave my ex-stepmom, but she left our life. I've been at the tobacco store, and believe it or not. And then what happened was I had all these labels. I had ADHD. There was something wrong with me. And it'd be beliefs that I was tied to these labels People would tell me at my job I have a lot of energy. They'd be like, "What's wrong with you? Why do you have so much energy?" And I would be thinking to myself, "What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? There must be something wrong with me. Go to the doctor. Here's Adderall. Sign of Adderall, you can't eat very much or sleep too much." And eventually what I decided was, oh, I'm going to learn prayer and meditation in the level of neutrality and hope and optimism and faith. That things that help you elevate. One of the first things was neutrality. I learned how to observe my thoughts with my prayers and my meditation. How to observe some of the things that happen to me from a neutral place. And I would say that forgiveness is what helped me move. Forgiveness and feeling, breath work, and the most powerful and transformational thing. Breath work is the thing that will clear these things. It will allow you to heal it, feel it, and heal it. And the key is lurking and becoming aware of neutrality and observing your thoughts and observing your beliefs and your attachments and labels. And the stories you have about who you are, and we can observe them and you become more neutral. And you start to observe your past. And even though I realized that my pain of the past I went through, and not having much of a childhood and not having enough friends or having to earn to go to school up until I was 15 years old. And what happened was I realized that it helped me to my spiritual journey. That pain was a good thing. I could start to appreciate it more. And I started to let go of the headaches and the pain, and it made me realize to raise my vibration. Let go of that headache. Fucking shit. Will. And say Tony Robbins, you can do it. Gary Vaynerchuk, it's all like more like this kind of motivation or willpower. You start focusing on learning the secret. So it's more like, I can do it. There's a desire there. I start focusing on these achievements and success, like these YouTube vids. And eventually I got on my purpose, which was going to school and teaching, do a substitute teaching, and the power of that meaning we gave in the past was all these beliefs that are tied to these emotions: shame, I'm broken, guilt, it's my fault, or it's someone else's fault. Or it can lead to the fear, I can't. I can't feel different emotions. Feel is trying to keep us in familiar energy. Anger, it's unfair. Energy that is unfair. And different nuances. But there's an attachment there, is you want to become aware of these and see them for what they are. They're attachments, they're beliefs, they're stories, they're people, labels, habits, attachments. They're not who you are. You are eternal spiritual being. You are love consciousness. And when you start to see that, you start to think thoughts, and you start to think emotions, and you have beliefs. But you're not just your thoughts, your emotions, and your beliefs. You may feel them, but there will come a time when there's a wave of that emotion goes. It's like breath work. It's like you feel this emotion come up. It can be very intense. And then in the moment, what do you mean I'm not angry? All I feel is anger. But then eventually, all starts subside. Like I thought I'd go through a huge temper tantrum. They're feeling anger, but a lot of time they may take a nap right after. There's a waves of emotions. You may think thoughts, but you're not in your thoughts. You may feel your thought. When you let yourself feel your emotions, you clear it from your energy, and it allows you to skyrocket. A lot of time, if you don't let feel the bottom emotions, to heal it out, to feel it, then a lot of times we're capping ourselves as the higher. So by not letting ourselves feel our lower emotions, we're not letting ourselves feel our top emotion, love. And because we don't think we're worthy of it. So the key is to feel it, to heal it, to become aware of the emotions, to heal the bottom so you can get to the top. And from the higher exist and a natural state of being. In 2012, I went from a scale to 0 to 10, and I felt at a 3. I'd smoke something, about 4 or 5, drink something, and after we go back to a 3, after my spiritual awakening, after I learned how to let go in a powerful way, my vibration went to a 7 out of 8 out of 10, which was a high for me at the time. When I thought that too good to be true, I was going to fall back to 3. The thing is that was my vibration. Of course it fluctuates, it can go back to 4 or 5, but now it is rooted more on the 7 or 8 or 9 or 8 or 9, 7 or 8 out of 10. When you let go, you energetically become more free. Now, if you want, by the way, to go through the most powerful, transformative, breathwork transformative that really release emotions or stay entrapped within these energies in your life, the most powerful things to do is to go into that and magnetic mastery. And there's a full recording and of the shift experience that you get. It's a 3-day live event we do in the park at Central Park. It's breathwork and practice of releasing energy. It's all recorded in HD with amazing audio, visual, and things. And you get that for free right now when you join that Magnetic Mastery. It's my monthly mastery. It's a month-to-month elevate and raise your concentration and also attract your dream life. All you gotta do is go to the tobacco shop and come and sign up. And if also you want to learn the most powerful things to elevate your vibration permanently, then I would recommend that you watch that last video right before. And in this video, what it would look like. GoPro, stop recording.